You know, we use words every single day, but we hardly ever stop and think about their hidden power. Turns out, they're not just labels for things, they are literally the blueprints of our reality. So today, we're going to explore the absolutely surprising story of how the words we speak actually build the worlds we all live in.
And it all kicks off with a puzzle. I mean, think about it. How can one single, pretty common plant end up with more than 50 different names all across the world? What does that explosion of words really tell us about our own history and about language itself?
Just look at this. These are only a few of the names for the cannabis plant. You've got bang over in India, daga in South Africa, kif making its way across North Africa. And you know, each name isn't just a random label. It's like a footprint, tracing this incredible path of migration and trade and culture, all for one little plant.
Okay, so to crack this puzzle, we're going to have to become linguistic detectives. And we'll start by tracing just one of those names, the scientific term cannabis, all the way back to its ancient roots.
So when linguists started comparing words for hemp across all these ancient languages, we're talking Sanskrit, Semitic, you name it, they found something amazing, a shared root, koan. This one little sound, which meant both hemp and cane, points to this deep, interconnected history that stretches back thousands of years.
And right here, you can actually watch the word's journey through time. It probably started as cannabism, which means aromatic cane in ancient Hebrew. Then, over centuries, it kind of morphed into canbos. From there, it got passed from Semitic cultures to the Scythians, and they're the ones who introduced it to the Greeks as cannabis. Every single step is like a little fossil, preserving a moment of history.
Now, this detective work, it goes way beyond just single words. I mean, what if I told you that linguists use these exact same methods to reconstruct entire languages that were never ever written down, languages that just vanished thousands of years ago?
So let me introduce you to Proto-Indo-European, or PIE for short. It's basically a ghost language. It was spoken about 6,000 years ago, and it's the great-great-grandparent of hundreds of languages, everything from Hindi to English to Spanish. Nobody ever wrote it down, but somehow scientists have managed to reverse engineer almost 2,000 of its words.
How is that even possible, right? Well, just take a look at the word for sheep. All across Europe and India, you see these variations like avis, ovis, and oi. By tracing those patterns backwards, linguists can rebuild the original PIE word, ois. In fact, our modern word ewe comes directly from it. Pretty cool.
And just to show you how ridiculously precise this science is, the same method that works for a word like sheep also works for, let's just say, less poetic words. The ancient root perd is the ancestor for words meaning to fart, all the way from Sanskrit to English. It's a seriously powerful tool for digging up our shared and, yeah, sometimes pretty amusing past. Okay, so we can trace words back through time. But what are they carrying with them on that journey? Well, you see, language is the main way we transmit something absolutely vital, cultural wisdom. Words are like these little packages for really complex ideas about how to live, all bundled up into memorable, bite-sized units.
Take this proverb from the Gala people in Africa. It just so beautifully captures a value we can all relate to, right? That feeling of connection and community is so much more important than just physical comfort.
Or head over to Japan, where this proverb nails a deep cultural respect for history. The idea that tradition is actually the source of innovation, and you can see that thinking in everything from their art to their technology.
And then there's this Gaelic proverb, which gives us this vivid image to warn us against changing our plans at the worst possible moment. See? Different cultures, different metaphors, but they're all doing the same thing, passing down hard-won wisdom about how to navigate life. So, let's pull this all together. We've seen that language has these ancient roots and that it carries our cultural DNA. And this all leads us to a huge idea about what language really is. Language is, well, it's a paradox. It's like two sides of the same coin. On one hand, it's a blueprint. Thinkers like Noam Chomsky believe we're all born with a kind of universal grammar, hardwired in our brains, built on ancient foundations. But on the other hand, it's a living organism. When people who don't share a language get thrown together, they can create totally new, complex languages in just one generation. It's always adapting, inventing new words like internet for things our ancestors couldn't have even dreamed of. So it's both. It's an ancient inheritance and a living, breathing creation, passed down and rebuilt by every single one of us, every generation. It's the software we use to build our shared reality, from the very first stories told around a campfire to the massive global conversation we're all a part of right now.
But there's a catch, and it's a big one. If words have the power to build our world, that also means they have the power to trap us inside of it. The very same tool we use to make sense of reality can also become a cage.
The writer Aldous Huxley talked about this Indian concept called nama rupa, which means name and form. The idea is that reality is this seamless, continuous whole. What language does is it chops that reality up into little pieces and slaps labels on them. Now, that's useful, of course, but the danger is we start to mistake our labels for the real thing. And Huxley really hits the nail on the head with this. His point is so sharp and so urgent. We get so attached to our labels, our ideologies, our isms, our identities, that we completely forget they're just words. And then we start wars over these constructs, totally forgetting the shared reality that's underneath it all.
So all of this leaves us with one final and I think really crucial question. The words you choose to use every day, they aren't just sounds, they are acts of creation. They're the bricks and mortar of your reality. So the question is, what kind of world are you building?